Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with part 2 of this Tales of the Vargas Vault, where I showcase my DS collection. So, let's continue with the next game that I purchased in the order of my collection. I actually got this one free as a Club Nintendo reward. If you buy licensed Nintendo games, you get a special pamphlet inside, wherein you can get into the Club Nintendo webpage, register your product, and you get coins. Those coins you can then exchange for merchandise, like some games or t-shirts or posters. And I had some coins there, so I decided to pick up a game. Why not? And that's the first Game & Watch collection. This, of course, is they ported 3 of the classic Game & Watch games. I don't know if you remember them, but the Game & Watch were these little black and white games that Nintendo released. This is actually the first handhelds Nintendo released. So they ported that into this, and it has Oil Panic, Donkey Kong, and Greenhouse. I haven't opened it. For a while they actually discontinued this, but then Nintendo decided to re-release it. So it's not as rare as it used to be. But yeah, I haven't played it, but I have played the Game & Watch. Actually, on the Game Boy they did release a Game & Watch collection, but got this one for free. So next game I purchased on my DS collection is Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. This is actually a huge improvement over a Phantom Hourglass, but they did remove the traveling through boat and replaced it by traveling through a train. But they also actually introduced Zelda as an additional character, wherein she actually possesses these knight armors. So Zelda can actually help you out during these situations. Again, it follows the timeline of Wind Waker and has the same style of art. So again, Zelda, best franchise ever. Had to pick it up. Really cool game. This is actually a game series I have to pick up the rest of the games for, but I bought this one and I really liked it. But now that the games are actually starting to become harder to find, but the Phoenix Wright games, really original concept by Capcom. You don't go fighting zombies, you don't go fighting these monsters or platforming. All you do is that you're a lawyer, and you have to get clues and try to figure out who did what crime and try to prove that the person you're defending is innocent. They utilize the microphone in the DS so you can scream "Objection!" And when they're doing the cross, I don't know, when they're interviewing the other person, you can bring up a point that you got on your investigation. This is a really cool game, and again, I'm missing the rest of the games of the series because I really like this one a lot. Next one I got is Rhapsody, a musical adventure. To my knowledge, this is a port of a game that came out on the PlayStation, but the whole thing has elements of music, what you can tell by the name, a musical adventure. Really cool RPG, and it has a kind of cartoonish, maybe a little bit girly look, but that doesn't remove the fact that it's a great game. If you can't get the PlayStation version, get the DS version, because both versions are really fun. Picked up Pic Cross DS. This is an update to the amazing game that came out on the Game Boy called Mario's Pic Cross. What you do is that you have to solve puzzles by basically filling out the grid areas that you're tasked. For example, you can try to solve the puzzle if it's like an animal or something like that. Really cool. And it also has some link features that you can use. They also released a second game called Pic Cross 3D, which I also need to get, but I haven't seen that one as much. But really addictive game. Also recommend that one. Picked up next Elite Beat Agents. It has some really cool music. It's a rhythm game for the DS. Basically what you do is that you have to tap at certain points the touchscreen, or that you have to rotate it at the beat of the music. Again, the art design is really cool. The missions are really funny. But the last mission, I can't beat it. I've tried, and the last mission is just freaking insane. I just can't beat it, but I just replay the other levels, which are really cool. It has some really cool covers for pop music. So yeah, if you like rhythm games on the go, I would recommend this one. Then I picked up Contra IV. I love the Contra series, except the ones that came out on the PlayStation. I don't own those, but I didn't like those. That's why I don't have them. But Contra is an amazing game series. You know, the two Contras that came out on the NES are the best ones by far, and this is a return to that. It actually it's a very interesting combination of Contra on the NES and Contra III on the Super Nintendo. The only problem with this is that since it utilizes both screens, there's this part in the middle where you can lose track of a bullet and that could kill you. Also, it has the first and the second game, the ones that came out on the NES, you can unlock them here. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So definitely, you gotta pick up Contra IV. It's really cool. And it keeps the Contra tradition where it's really hard, but still an amazing game. Picked up Spectrobes. This is a really cool RPG where you unlock monsters. It's kind of like a Pokemon game, but it has the 3D elements and everything. I haven't beaten this game. It was released by Disney, but still, I liked it. And there's a Wii version for this, and there's a sequel to this one, so I'll definitely track those down. Still had some more points on the Club Nintendo, so I picked up the Game & Watch Collection 2. This one has 4 versions this time. It has Parachute, Octopus, Parachute, and a different version of Octopus. Again, I haven't opened it, because I played the Game & Watch, but it was a free game, so. Picked up Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. Love the Dragon Quest series. It's a really cool RPG. I actually prefer Dragon Quest over Final Fantasy, especially in some of the later Final Fantasies. This one is actually an update of a game that came out on the Game Boy, Dragon Quest Monsters, which is in turn a Pokemon ripoff. You would actually go and capture monsters from the Dragon Quest universe to train them, raise them, and use them for battles. This one, of course, has updated graphics. And Akira Toriyama, who did the artwork for Dragon Ball, does the artwork for all the Dragon Quest games. And they poured it really cool. Ever since Dragon Quest VIII on the PlayStation 2, his artwork just comes to life on these games. And this one is no exception. It's really cool. I actually do like elements of this better than, for example, Pokemon, because you can actually fuse monsters. They don't evolve, so what you do is that you actually get 2 monsters that are compatible, fuse them, and you get an even more powerful monster. So I thought that was cool. But again, really cool art. If you're gonna buy a Pokemon ripoff, you might as well buy a good one, and this one is really cool. Picked up Jake Hunter Detective Story. This is another adventure type game like Hotel Dusk, where you have to, like, solve mysteries. You're the detective that gets hired to solve mysteries. So it's kind of like a graphic adventure where you interview people and you get items and so on. But this one also has another side story which is more comedic. It even has a different art style. So if you like Hotel Dusk, this is a good game to pick up. But then Drawn to Life. This is a platformer where you actually design your own character. The character design is a little bit limited. But still, you can create some pretty awesome stuff, and you create your own character, and you have to save this people, being overrun by darkness. I really thought this was interesting. Picked up Fossil Fighters. This is actually another Pokemon ripoff, but done by Nintendo. But instead of Pokemon, you have dinosaurs. You go into the wild and you pick up dinosaur fossils, and you have to very, very carefully clean them up and everything. So if you clean them up better, you can actually get more powerful dinosaurs. So again, it's a Pokemon ripoff, but it has dinosaurs, so that's why I picked it up, because I love dinosaurs. Picked up Valkyrie Profile, Covenant of the Plume. This is another strategy game with the Valkyrie Profile universe. Valkyrie Profile, of course, came out on the PlayStation, and they had a sequel on the PlayStation 2. So this follows that universe, but again, it's a strategy game like Advance Wars or Fire Emblem. So it's an interesting change to the series, but still, I would recommend it. Next, I picked up Pokemon Mystery Dungeon: Explorers of Time. This is a rogue RPG wherein you go into dungeons with a party of Pokemon. You get transformed into a Pokemon. So you're on this island, and you go into dungeons with a team of Pokemon. But the dungeons are randomly generated, so sometimes you might breeze through a dungeon, and sometimes you might get a dungeon that's really, really hard, and if you die in the dungeon, you lose everything that you picked up. It's set apart from the traditional Pokemon universe. Like I said, wherein you're a Pokemon trainer, and this one you become a Pokemon. But if you don't like those type of RPGs, the rogue type of RPGs, you're not gonna like this one. I kind of enjoyed it, but it is kind of frustrating that you know, you're trying to beat the dungeon and then you die and then you lose everything. So all the time that you invested on it goes down the drain. So that I'm not a big fan of. Picked up Witch's Wish. This is an RPG that, much like Castlevania, uses the touchscreen to produce spells. You're basically this girl that wants to be a witch in this universe where witches are powerful. You get something, I haven't played this one in a while, but you get something that actually gives you magical powers. So that's when the adventure begins. Like I said, the best thing is actually the use of the touchscreen. You do have to use the touchscreen to produce spells and everything. Again, it might look like a girly RPG, much like Rhapsody, but still, I would recommend it. It's actually a pretty cool game. Next, I picked up Contact by Atlas. This actually reminded me a lot of Earthbound. You're basically, you take the role of this like a god being within the universe, where you have to guide this kid and a scientist that gets stranded. And you are basically control the character, and the character knows that you're controlling them. So the game's kind of self-aware that you're playing a game. But again, it reminded me a lot of Earthbound, which is awesome, and a little bit of what's the other one? The one that came out on the Game Boy, Golden Sun. Golden Sun, that's the one. So it's a really cool combination of both of them. I really like this one a lot. And I picked up Monster Tale. This was actually pretty good because it's a platformer that also uses monsters. It's by the same team that I forget the name, but that one was a combination of platformer with puzzles. This is monsters, and you can go and feed your monsters food and everything, so they get more powerful. Really interesting game. I enjoyed that one. Pick this one up. Next one is My Weight Loss Coach, released by Ubisoft. I have not lost any weight with this. Basically, it's just a game that you know, you can input information and it will give you tips on how to lose weight. It also comes with this bulky pedometer that you know, tracks how many steps you took. So at the end of the day, you connect it into the DS, and then it'll tell you, oh, you walked this much, you lost this much weight and everything. But if you're gonna, you know, try to lose weight with a video game, get Wii Fit Plus. That's way better than this. I picked it up at a swap meet because it was cheap, and I started using it, but again, I haven't lost any weight with it. Next, I have Dragon Quest VI. This is the Dragon Quest game that was not released in America, and that's why I picked it up, because this game never came to America. Again, the artwork by Akira Kurosawa is amazing. Like I've mentioned, ever since Dragon Quest VIII, they ported his artwork beautifully on these Dragon Quest games. So that was a definitely pickup. Picked up Gloria for Oculus. This is a Nintendo published game where you go around. It's an RPG game, and it's set in a world kind of like ancient Greek, where you collect your own company of Greek heroes. The main character has amnesia. It doesn't know yet, but he's immortal, so he doesn't know how that happened. So he has to figure out what's going on. The graphics are pretty cool, but the story's kind of but I would still recommend it. It's worth a play. Next one I have is Kirbys Mass Attack. They really like doing a whole bunch of stuff to Kirby on his portable games, and this one occurs actually splits him apart, so there's a whole bunch of little Kirbys. So as you're collecting fruit, you pop up another Kirby, and you use basically an army of Kirbys to take down your enemies and the like. Kirby games are just fun, and this is not the exception. I'm only missing Squeak Squad also for the DS, but this one is really cool. Definitely recommend it. And the last game on my DS collection is the game that I've become addicted to recently, Pokemon Platinum. This is the same game that Pearl, but it has more options. It has some more Pokemon, and it has some really cool online gameplay. So if you're gonna get a Pokemon for the DS, pick up this one. This one is the more complete one of Pearl or Diamond. So yeah. So that was the DS collection. Like I said, I don't have a lot of games for my DS collection. I also am missing a lot of key games, but this is what I've been able to collect so far. And each one of the games I've liked. There's not one game that I haven't liked. Well, except Explorers of Time. That one is more frustrating than bad. But all in all, great games. And like I said, the DS is an awesome console. Good thing about the 3DS is that it plays old DS games. But I really hope that they release 3DS XL, because that would be amazing. But in the meantime, I have my DS XL to play these great DS games. And like I said, I'm still missing a bunch of games, and I still have to collect a whole bunch of awesome DS games. But that's later on. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching. I hope I didn't bore anyone with my rambling. But until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, signing off.